Yeah, that's Rob there making fun of his big bro because now it's Blind Man and Hunter.
I'm right.
It's Russell. It's Russell and Hunter, the Brewmance Friday Nooner. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for playing along. Hope you had a good weekend. Week. Sorry, and hope you got a great weekend planned ahead of us. And Robbie sat down with Congressman David Schweikert on his Equal Matters podcast, and y'all went and talked about some debt.
Yeah,
y'all went and talked about some AI as well. How'd that go?
Awesome. I mean, this is what I love about Schweikert. Obviously, here's the big problem. The big problem is spending. We're $34.5 trillion in debt. We borrowed $3 trillion as a country in 1 year, but there are solutions. And that's what the conversation with the congressman comes up. So AI is a big part of it. And Mike, you'll love this because that's how you lessen the size of government. You take AI, you get it to do jobs that people are doing now. You release those people from government, you get them going to the private sector, and voila.
So they can act like government employees in the private sector? Thank you, no. Nope, thank you. If you come to my office with a resume that you've been in a government job your whole career, ATF. I'm not hiring you.
Especially ATF, not a chance. DEA, you're not hiring that person.
In the feds? I mean, if you're bringing me my file, okay, if you have access to that so I can at least see it, maybe I'll give you a second interview. But yeah, if you have a DC resume, moving to Phoenix, moving to the Valley from Washington, DC, and I've been working for the government and congressman, this and that, and this, nope, no way, no day, because you made a choice to leave, because Lord knows nobody could fire you in a government job.
You have to understand, though, what's more important. Getting those government workers out of government positions because they're not necessary, and technology could do that job, saving the country money, saving us all, perhaps down the line, or, no. I'm just saying the alternative.
No. I say hiring freeze. That's what I would say. Let them all die off. Let them all just retire off and get out of there and be done because they're useless. It's a lot like this. I had a friend of mine that used to work for Club Med, the all-inclusive resorts all around the world, right? He said, once you're in, you're in. He said, you're in. He said, we try to leave. We try to get out. And then we go home and we're like, we got to pay what bill? What? We've got to make our own bed.
We don't get to live on the beach. We
have to do our own laundry. What kind of crap is this? People getting shot in the streets. I'm going back. And they go back. And they basically rendered themselves useless members of society is what they've done. And I mean, it sounds bad, but it's a great life. I was offered a gig at Club Med. And that's how I learned this. I'm like, I don't think I want to be locked in. As cool as that sounds at 19 years old, I don't think I want to be locked in.
Yeah, 49, still teaching people how to surf and wherever, Morea.
I'm that guy, right? Yeah, I probably got dreadlocks and a patch. Shit.
You definitely would have dreadlocks. 100%.
I'll tat it out. I mean, my legs start rubbing. I'll just tat out. It's just looking at people awkwardly and just going, hey. Yeah, that's my whole vibe right there. Is my whole vibe. But anyway, DC is the same thing. You work in Washington, D.C. long enough, you are useless in the private sector. Absolutely useless. So that's the way. Just let them just kind of die on the vine, and then just shrink government that way.
Yeah, and I think that's part of Schweikert's plan. Is that there are a lot of people in the government that are 60 plus. I would even go far as to say buy them out. You know what? We'll just start your pension now. Just leave, please. I don't, because we're going to pay the pension anyways. Might as well just pay them like 75% of their salary. Send them on home. Have a great time. We won't replace you. Thank you.
Well, I think it's a great idea to take all this student loan debt nonsense and take that and just pay all these bozos out. Okay, everybody, you're over X age. We're all going to decide that. You're over X age. You're just gone. You're done. Thanks for playing. We have lovely parting gifts for you, a nice pension, and away you go. And then I think if you even set that to a vote, if we could bring in nationwide ballot measures, that would be the first one on there. Yes, pay everyone over X age and they're gone. Or if they've been in DC for this long, employed on the government dime, on any type of government dime, you're gone. Here's your money. Here's your check. You out. Because no one's digging it. No one's digging this student loan thing. Nobody's digging it. Even the ones that are taking advantage of, they know damn well in their soul. They're like, this is not I appreciate it. I'm going to take it because that's human nature. But damn, this is really, they're trying to buy my vote. I'm still voting for Trump.
Well, and the craziest part about this is, and I'm glad you brought up voting for Trump, because I actually now think Trump is going to win pretty easily over Biden. However, I don't think a lot of the Trump candidates are going to win, because if you go into the polling data, you see how much America doesn't like Joe Biden, despite what Mike just said. Biden, and this is the telltale sign. If Biden has to spend, would you know what the total is on student loan forgiveness now? I think I saw the number this morning. It's like 167
Bazillion. Yeah.
So let's call it 200 billion. Biden has spent $200 billion already trying to win an election to get people to go to the polls.
Yeah.
And not this current forgiveness, the one before it, the average household that took that benefit makes $312,000.
It ain't for crazy. Yeah. And then Corinne John Pearson, they're going, families are getting crushed. Because ABC came with the best question of the entire day when they announced this in the press pool. So if the average person is going to get $35,000 in loan forgiveness, are those that paid off their student loans, didn't take out student loans, got a degree, are they getting a $35,000 check from the government?
Nope.
Why aren't they getting it? These people are being crushed. So they have to. This means that they can start a family, that they can buy a house. Says KJP, that they can buy a house. I just saw this. Yo, Robbie, just saw this. It was amazing to me. I want you to take a guess on how far out affordability, numbers wise, dollar wise, how far out affordability a home is. An average home for an average American. How far out of the league dollars?
I just saw the median home price in America is, I think it's 430 grand. So if I think about that, I'm going to say I spent 300,000 on my house in 2017, and it's a 1,600 square foot house. And that was kind of at the top of that limit that we wanted to do. We really wanted 250, 300. So I'm going to say we're about 125,000 off.
You're just about there. You're about $90,000 off. About $90,000 unaffordable. Like you I could afford a house, but it's not. But Corinne Jean-Pierre, if they get rid of that $114 a month student loan that they have, no, it doesn't do squat. And the average American, you said, how much was the average earner? 300,000.
Yeah, and that's in that last group.
In that, right. Yeah. Okay. So do you understand the 300,000 group? They understand that. They get it. They're like, no, I'm not for this. I'm still going to vote for Trump. But I mean, cool. I'll take the student loan forgiveness. That's fine. I mean, I know people in the 150 range that are getting their loans, that are just begging for their loans forgiven. We used to work for a guy that's like, I'd take it all day, but he spouts as some like flaming conservative. He's a damn hypocrite. They're like, oh, sure, I'll take that money all day. Well, either be for it or against it. You decide.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm trying to get this. This is what I'm looking at. There's a chart that I saw today, and I gotta, it's too much, but the stock market gains that you've seen under President Joe Biden are not really gains because they're lost to inflation.
Oh, that's right.
It's really fascinating because you look at the stock market and the Dow hit 40,000 and my stock portfolio's up, but it's worth less. And here in the Valley, it's about 26% less than it was 3 years ago. And that's ultimately the reason that Biden can't fix, he can't hide, he can't run from, because, if you've done it the right way, like Mike and I have done life the right way, according to the American dream, we haven't done
a little bit. My divorce was finalized this week, so I don't know if I'm batting 1,000, champ. I really don't know if I'm batting 1,000.
It doesn't matter if you're batting 1,000, right? It just matters if you're batting. But the point is, you find a career, you go around that career. And Mike, you had an initial career in the real estate game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
then when the crash happened in 07, 08, you decided that radio was your calling. Yeah. And now here we are, right? So, but you do it, you slow, you build, you steady, you make your money, you pay your taxes. And now you feel screwed for doing it the right way.
Yeah.
For following your dream to try to save enough to retire. And you look at your retirement account, and the number might be higher, but it doesn't buy you as much. And when you're talking about, this is the other thing that Schweikert said on Equal Matters, Mike, that's really relevant. Whatever you have in your retirement account, if we don't fix our spending, guess what's going to happen? They're going to tax the you-know-what out of it. Mm-hmm. So you're going to be doing that same thing. You worked your butt off. You put money aside. You invested. And you have a little nest egg. And let's say your nest egg's $2 million. Guess what? Every time you cash that, you're going to have to pay more taxes on it than you do right now, because we're all got our heads up our butts and don't want to change it.
Yeah. Oh, no, all of us want to change it. It's just, And I would say as a we the people, I'll speak as a we the people, not those that dive into this daily. As we the people, we are told that the Republican Party wants the way they're going to get us out of this debt and spending is to cut Social Security, is to cut Medicare, all the benefits. Granny's going to die. Meals on Wheels, dead on arrival. You only get a Triscuit when they show up on Meals on Wheels, and Granny's going to die. And so you think you want to, but you feel like because you're told by the corporate media and you're told by these bozos that fall in line like they do, and we the people go, okay, but we can't. If the only way we can fix it is killing grandma, I guess we're just going to have to take the punch.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that we don't want to. I know Rob was very eloquently said, pull our heads out of our butts, but that's what, I don't think our heads are in our butts. I think we are being completely duped by the system here, and it's going to bite us in the butt.
I'm glad you brought that up. I was actually just talking to Mrs. H, Lady Brewmance, about this a little while ago, right before the show. I said, either there seems to be this Trump Biden thing, right? But to me, Mike, we kind of put the number, we think it's like 20%, maybe 10% is the fringe on each side. But let's extend it out to 20%.
Okay.
So let's say 40% of the country is all in on the Trump Biden thing. And either you love Trump, he's Jesus, or you think he's the Antichrist. It's very much that complex. It's like either the greatest thing ever or the worst thing ever. So outside of that, there's that 60 to 80% of us that are like, okay, I get that these are the two guys. Biden is basically a dead man walking, isn't really the president of the United States. Trump has some baggage. Okay, great. Now what? Because I think we forget that we're the bigger part of the pie here. We're letting 10 to 20% create the narrative about our government, about our politics. Meanwhile, with our numbers, we can create our own narrative that the truth is both Republicans and Democrats are not doing enough to make sure this country goes in the right direction as of right now.
I don't disagree with that. But again, what are we? We only know what we're fed.
Mm-hmm.
Period. We only know what we're fed. So I don't knock. I mean, I've seen it too. I've seen people close to me that just think that Trump is going to be in jail this year. And they think that there's no way Biden wouldn't win. Like, why would you not vote for Biden? And their one source of news is MSNBC.
Right.
And so I remember when my ex-in-laws came to town, and they live in the Midwest, and I asked them what they thought about the border, and they said, what's going on the border? And they literally watched CBS morning to night. One news source. So I'm not knocking a lot of people, but because I guess I challenge them to have more news sources, but I'm not knocking them because literally the only thing they know is what they're being fed by legacy media and the agendas behind each of those. Whether it was Fox News or whatever, like when you said, Rob, that either you think he's the Antichrist or you think he's Jesus. I think the majority of we the people just saw it as my life was better under Trump. It was noisier, but I had more money. I was paying less for gas. I could afford a house. I had a job. I think that's it. I think the vast majority of Trump voters don't think he's something super duper special at all. I think they think that's Donald Trump, the guy that we've been watching on TV for decades. That's it. Yeah, that's him. Yeah, that's him. He did a good job. And that's it. The numbers were what the numbers were.
Well, and I think that's accurate to point that out, is that at the end of this all, it's not about which candidate. It's about you. It's about not being able to afford a house on a normal salary anymore. It's watching your stock portfolio go up in number, but knowing that it's worth less. That's that real impact that Biden can't hide from, bribe himself out of, especially because, first of all, Biden was just never qualified to be president. And I don't mean that in the sense that the only qualifications are 35 years old, born in the United States of America, according to the Constitution. But we all know when you're the president, you got to have some strategy. You got to know how to manage departments. You got to appear to be alive, because the president's first and foremost ultimate job is a communicator. You talk to the American people, and that's something obviously Biden's not up for. And that's another thing that people notice. It is if we have an absent president, a guy that's not really president, and it makes you wonder who's doing all the presidential things if the guy appears that he can't do the presidential things.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yes.
I'll ask Michelle. Michelle, who's running the president?
People may not be able to say that.
I can.
But we see it, right? I think we know it. It's just one of those things. And this is a funny thing, because I told Mike this before the show. I listened to Joe Rogan's interview with Terrence Howard, the actor who was in Hustle and Flow, a show called Empire. He was in Iron Man. He was the first, who was Iron Man's sidekick?
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Rhodes, Captain Rhodes.
Yeah.
He
very delicate voice, good looking cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is apparently really smart. He has theory that gravity is only a theory and that there's frequencies and you can manipulate those frequencies and all these scientific things that I don't
know. Periodic table should be is what he says, the sound waves and frequencies and things like that. Yeah.
But see, if I heard that pre-pandemic, I would have been like, wow, Terrence Howard, the actor's really out there. But now I'm like, what if he's right? Because the experts during the pandemic were completely wrong. So I bring all this up, Mike, is that I think if you pay attention, like I've done for 25 years, Mike, you've done for about 20, Lynn, David, Grizz, Pete, Naked Pete in the building. How you doing, Naked Pete? Naked Pete is a performer. He likes busts out his guitar. He sings
naked.
Naked Pete. I don't think he performs naked. Maybe he wants to.
Family programming. Let's keep our pants on. Let's keep our pants on. I could deal with topless guitar playing. Fine, that's okay. But dude, let's naked. I think we're going a little. I think we're going. Although I have been getting into Naked and Afraid. Naked and Afraid is kind of a fun show.
Is it?
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be like Survivor, like everybody's done the season and they're all no. It's just two people, one show, trying to make it through their 21 days. It's pretty fantastic.
See, that was funny because I just heard a conversation about that you don't even get paid to do that. You show up, you get some microbiomes that mess with your body.
Yeah. My girlfriend actually auditioned for it and got to like right till it's time to go and got the shots and all the stuff to go wherever the country they were sending her to. And it was COVID hit. Oh. And they stopped everything. And I said, okay, well, what would you want? I mean, it was something to be like, and she says, nothing. It's kind of the, for the experience and I'm like, so they have people get naked and they put them in a spot where they have to survive for 21 days. And then they just cash in on it. They don't even give you like, what do they give you? Like, is there catering at the end? Do you get like a nice meal?
Yeah.
You get a Starbucks gift card. What do you get?
You survive. Afraid.
And there's people that go on, 2-3 times and they kind of build a brand doing it. And I think that's fine. But yeah, I don't know. But so Pete says no nudity. Okay. Thanks, buddy. But why do you call Naked? Why do you call him Naked Pete?
I don't know. I saw a couple of his posts and it was Naked Pete. Naked Pete back performing.
Naked Pete. Okay, fair enough. Okay, good. All right, good. Look out for Naked Pete. Yeah,
maybe he just strips down to the basics and performs. Pete, tell us.
No. Rob just pulled a muscle reaching for that one.
I was trying, man.
Yeah, it's not just where the hell were we going with that? Yes. Okay,
Howard,
whatever.
Donald Trump, Joe
and
Biden.
Thanks, Grizz. Appreciate it. What's up, Del? Appreciate you, Grizz. Thanks so much, my man. Yeah, we did some FAFO Friday on
I know. I want to see. I know you got one queued up here. I want to see this because this is really cool thing that Mike does on the Go Show, streaming live every day for you at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is now Pacific Time. Animals just wreaking havoc on people.
Yeah, so we just did, or not even wreaking havoc. Just how about this? This is why I'll never go on a safari right here. Here we go. Let's just have some fun with this. Let's see what we can get here. Come on. I had the stage. Come on, let's go. What's up? It's not going.
Yeah, it's technical.
There we go. All right, here we go. Look at that. Look, nobody's watching. Look, everybody's looking over here. Look at this. Yeah, Mama's like, you understand in the lion world, right? Lionesses are the ones that hunt. They're the ones that look. Everybody's looking over here. Look over here, everybody. Look over here. And then this guy, not this guy. This bozo driver should be in fourth gear by now. He should be in fourth gear. Then this guy.
Shotguns?
He's wondering what an f-stop is. What aperture do I have this camera set to? Look at this.
Oh, yeah.
Nope. No. Look, it's looking like you're supposed to run now, dude. You're supposed to run now. Holy cow. Yeah. Yes, but anyway, yes. You
Wow.
blank around and find out we are not going on safari. Rob and I are not going. Rob can go. That's fine. He can go on safari.
I definitely am going to go.
We watched a lady get pulled out of her car by a tiger. I'm just like, yeah, no safaris for me. I'm good. I'm good right here. The worst thing I have to worry about in Arizona is worry about a rattlesnake. Some death ropes are out there just rolling, just snaking all the way through the desert. And you got to worry about that, but that's it. I'm good. No natural disasters, no things that want to kill me. I'm good.
So, brother Chris, he had a run-in with a little rattlesnake last week because, my house backs up to a mountain. So it was his welcome to Arizona. He's been here for less than a year. He came in August. So, it was the very end of snake season last year. So he's pulling the recycle bin and the trash bin up the house, and he heard that little rattle. He froze. He turned around. It was a little baby, he said, about a foot long. He said, welcome to the desert.
Yeah. Do you want to hear something scary?
Yeah.
Microevolution taking place right before our eyes. Because usually in the little snickety snake world, the is just a warning. Get the heck back, dude. I'm here. Just so you know I'm here. And if you blank around, you're about to find out. But I'm going to give you a little. Those snickety snakes are the ones that are getting killed. They're getting dispatched immediately. People hit them with a shovel. Maybe Chris would like smash it with the trash can or whatever, right? I mean, that's how you just protect yourself, kind of thing. So the snakes that don't do that, those are the snakes that are living. Those are the snakes that are breeding. The snakes that don't rattle. The snakes that are quiet. So soon enough, probably at the end of our lifetime, probably around mid-lifetime for the kids, there's going to be no rattling of the rattlesnakes. It's just going to be, well, hope you don't step on me because I won't bite you.
Evolution is a funny thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's going to happen.
Doesn't want to go on a safari because evolution is a funny thing, and taking on lionesses is not a good idea. By the way, I do want to point something out. Oh. Mike, I was around some people that talked about themselves as lions.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And then looking into a male lion is lazy. A male lion lies around all day. The woman does all the work. The lion just sits there. So we have this impression lion gets up and roars, and it's this great, magnificent animal, of which it is. But it's not out there constantly hunting. It's not out there doing really anything. It's just such a top dog of the jungle. It just gets to sit there and be like, what's up?
Yeah. There was the IMAX, the Serengeti IMAX. Do you remember that? I think it kind of tracked the wildebeest migration. And there was a part of that. There was a part of that film that a lion is mounting a lioness, and it's full. They're showing the whole thing. It's like it's like bow, bow. Some Barry White started playing in the background, and then he just lets out this giant roar, and then gets off the lioness, takes like 3 steps, and goes, and just passes out. Everyone in the theater starts laughing their butts off. This is one of the funniest things, but you should be like, well, what do? I eat and I mate. That's what I do. I eat and I mate. So yeah. So when you say like, oh, he's the lion of the group.
Lions are not hustlers.
They're not
grinders.
Hyenas are. Hyenas are the top of the hustling food train. Now they're like the crackheads of the Serengeti. They're gonna wake up. They're gonna get theirs. Any way, shape, fashion, or form. They're gonna wake up and they're gonna get theirs. You don't want to get out hustled by a hyena, man. Little crackheads of the Serengeti.
And don't they work in packs and sometimes attack lions?
Oh yeah, they don't, dude. They're nasty hunters, man. They'll get after it. But mostly they sit around and wait till someone else does it, and they're like, "Excuse me, mind if I play through?"
Yeah, I'm pretty ugly. You don't want to mess with me. I'm pretty nasty. So yeah, I'm just gonna have a little. I'm gonna help myself to your hunt. Thank you.
And they hurt their feelings. So they think, why are they laughing at me? I just killed this thing. What did it? It was a perfect hunt. Why are they laughing at me? I'm gonna go. You guys suck. And they're like, yeah, there we go. And they jump right in.
Damn it.
We have just Disneyed the entire thing.
Well,
yeah, we just, I don't know how. And that's basically if you're an anti-hunter, if you want us not to hunt something, or you want the whole anti-hunting crowd to really get after us for hunting anything, put it in a Disney movie. Make it cute, put it in a Disney movie, and there'll be entire groups of people that will protect it to the death. They will protect it if you make it cute and you name it things like Pumbaa.
It's like the Dennis Leary No Cure for Cancer stand-up bit when he's talking about the otter. He goes, oh, the otter, it's so cute. Leave it alone. Hi, I'm a cow. Get in the truck. You're a baseball glove.
Yes. But I remember going to San Diego, Rob, and we were going to go fishing in San Diego, and we get to the hotel room, and you're like, oh, dude, look, a sea lion, a picture of a sea lion. You're like, oh, look at that cute. Look at this, a sea lion. That's so cool. I'm like, by the end of the day, dude, You're going to come back and want to throw something at that damn thing, and you did, because they're evil.
Truth.
They're thieves.
Stole my bait right off my line. And I didn't even see it coming.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Yeah. What's up, Jay? How you doing, buddy? Speaking of evil, Sonny Hostin making a play. We've talked about the topic of the View a few times, and that is Caitlyn Clark of the what in the world did she go to? What I don't even know. I can't name 4 NBA teams. I really can't.
NBA or WNBA?
WNBA, sorry. WNBA. I can't name 4. What is she playing for? The so and so.
Yeah, I don't know what the actual
Indiana something. Okay. So she's playing for the Indiana something, and she is the draw now. Caitlyn Clark is the draw. She is already being heralded as the future GOAT, and she is she's going to take the WNBA by storm.
I've seen 2 headlines that compared her to Michael Jordan this week, Mike. Michael Jordan. Caitlyn Clark's been compared to Michael Jordan. 2 different headlines this week.
She's too sweet to be Michael Jordan. She's too sweet and too kind to be Michael Jordan.
She's too kind of like. Oh.
But she does, and I know this is going to sound like it's being racially insensitive, but she got, especially in Indiana, she got that Bird vibe to her. Like everybody's like, she's sweet, she's nice, she's just good, but she's just a baller. She's out there doing it. Larry Bird was one of the most evil mother blankers you ever. He was the biggest trash talker in the game. The guy was mean. Fantastic, though. Love me some Larry Bird. All about Larry Bird. Anyway, people didn't try to take Larry Bird out of the league. Because, see, him and Magic Johnson came in and saved the league. Mm-hmm. The NBA was just nothing prior to Magic.
The finals were on tape delay in the 70s.
Yes, and now when Larry Bird and Magic Johnson came out of their NCAA rivalry and went to the NBA, people followed. So that's what the WNBA was hoping Caitlyn Clark would be, because Caitlyn Clark became a name. Caitlyn Clark became a draw for because nobody cared. Let's talk like grown-ups here, people. Nobody watched the women's NCAA basketball tournament. No one. I'm being serious. The ratings, abysmal. They were on ESPN 19 or something like that. Nobody cared. And then Caitlyn Clark showed up, and now it's on CBS. Right? And everybody's all about that. So she gets drafted to the WNBA, and here she is, the star herself. The WNBA players hate her. They are just, have you seen, I saw a montage of the fouls she's been taking in the past week. I mean, they're trying to hurt this girl. I saw her own teammate punk her in a press conference because she showed up late because she was signing autographs for kids. I'm like, this is just absolute stupidity. And then on top of that, speaking of stupidity, Sonny Hostin.
Caitlyn Clark is bringing this money, these sponsorships, we hope, into the league, and other players will benefit from it. But I do think...
Sonny, how many WNBA games have you watched? None. Don't give me we hope. Don't give me this garbage about, oh, we hope so much for the league. We just hope it for the women. We just really, really hope. Then go to a game. Buy season tickets. Buy a suite. Give the league some money. Buy some jerseys. Sonny Hostin, how many WNBA jerseys have you bought for your kids? Exactly, you fraud.
That she is more relatable to more people because she's white, because she's attractive. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, there still is that stigma of against the LGBTQ plus community. 70% of the WNBA is black. A third of the players are in the LGBTQ plus community. And we have to do something about that stigma in this country. I think that people have a problem with basketball playing women that are lesbian.
No, we have a problem with basketball playing women don't put a good product on the floor. That's what literally is what we don't like. If they were dunking, doing some alley-oops and doing some crazy stuff, we'd be showing up to the games. It'd be fun to watch. I would equate it to basically the arena football to the NFL. We'd show up because, like, hey, well, let's go catch a WNBA game. There's some talent going on here. Let's go check it out. None. Zero. It just isn't. It's not an entertaining. It's not an entertaining. It's not a entertaining sport. It's not a draw, period. It's not.
Plus, I'm tired of the go-to reaction being the same. The outrage is the same all the time. Look, I get it. Caitlyn Clark has advantages because she looks the way that she does. It's very obvious.
She's not that attractive, dude. Let's be real. She's not. She didn't have hot chick. She didn't have hot girl privilege.
No. But what I mean in terms of the WNBA, which is primarily made up of black players, as Sonny Hostin said, it was very hard for a black woman to break through the same way. However, you can't discount the talent because Caitlyn Clark shoots like Steph Curry. Yeah. Long threes, makes a lot of them. So there is a skill there.
Yeah.
I understand to a point what Sonny Hostin is saying, but it's a point that has been said since America was founded. So we need to do this and we need to do that. And okay, how do we do that then? Because number one,
but it's not the case. She's saying we need to do something. It's a solution looking for a problem.
Well, but that's my point. It's always the same reaction. So it's boring. Like what Sonny Hostin is saying is just her regurgitating the same thing that she said 100 times about 100 different people on The View. So this is another reason why I've unplugged from traditional media. It's the same thing over and over again, every single day. It's the same outrage. So, okay, here's what I'll say. We're being asked to care about too much stuff. We're being asked as people that watch media to solve all these problems, but nobody knows how to solve these problems. Really, the solution is just pretty simple. And I'm going to say a word that I wouldn't be allowed to say on the radio.
Oh.
Don't be a dick. It's pretty simple. Yeah. Don't be a jerk. Be a nice person. Be a respectful person. That's how you solve these problems. It's actually very easy. But we wouldn't have media channels like The View if we solved all these problems, if people were nice, because Sonny Hostin is not a nice person. Sonny Hostin has hot girl privilege. She's rich. She probably lives in a nice big apartment in Manhattan, has a very small frame of reference. She is a black woman who has ascended to these massive heights with her law career and now her television career. She's trying to tell you that America is unfair. It just looks ridiculous on its surface. Yes, for some people, America is harder to make it than others.
Sure.
Sonny Hostin is not one of those people. Many of the women in the WNBA are not those people. Caitlyn Clark certainly is not those people. And if we're talking about fairness and injustice, to your point, Mike, the WNBA is not in that group.
It's garbage.
Injustices happen every single day with power and arresting people of color and charging them when many people who get arrested don't have large bank accounts to hire lawyers. They get rolled over in the legal justice system. Many people who aren't guilty take guilty pleas because it's the easy way out and it's the less expensive way out. That's real injustice that you should be ticked off about, not some game that no one watches, to Mike's point. It's not even worth the outrage that she is pretending to have.
Well, I mean, the outrage, she's just, oh, okay, listen, I want to be nice because, it's just because she's white. And that's fine. But she's actually the only one out there making shots. She's the only one out there putting up a product that people want to see. And she's got a little signature heart thing that she does. I mean, she's a brand and she's made herself a brand. But I'm thinking about the way they're treating this woman in the WNBA. I mean, look, I'll still maintain this. Women, I've said this to every woman in my life. I've said this to everyone. Y'all don't like each other. Y'all pray like, oh, go have girl day, girl night. Woo, girl night. Y'all don't like each other. Y'all will stab each other in the back every single time. Men, at least we fight it out and then we go grab a beer. But women, the WNBA now has a superstar that's outshining all of them. And they're taking her out. I mean, they're just flooring this girl. And I'm just thinking, and by the way, Sonny Hostin does not have hot girl privilege. Sonny Hostin's fine. She's a good-looking woman. Tell you what. But I know who Sonny Hostin is. That eliminates all hot cheats. There's nothing hot about Sonny Hostin. That is just a non-attractive woman. That's dumber than a bag of hammers.
I don't put ugly. Well, I don't know. I mean, but
I don't know how she passed the bar. There had to have been something. I have no idea.
Start legally. She might study hard, know the law. But see, this is the other funny thing, that we have a problem in this society. And I mentioned this last week because I see this all the time. There are people like Sonny Hostin that got rich and got bored. So now they commentate on politics or host a podcast, but they fund, in editing programs so that there's more of them on the algorithm, which is what the algorithm likes. The more you put on it, the more rewards you get. She fits into that camp. She is a lawyer who's probably good at it, made a lot of money doing it. That doesn't mean she's smart or good at talking about politics, because clearly she has no depth to any of her arguments. That's very obvious. So she may have read legal briefs back in the day, studied cases. She doesn't take that same approach with The View. She probably shows up, probably gets handed some papers by the producers. She looks at the papers and goes, all right, cool, I'm ready to go. So that's all this is. This is surface level, boring, repeatable ideas that have been said a billion times before, yet nothing ever changes.
And that's why Rob and I are working on a new project that we're working on, because it's everybody. You can go down the street to that radio station that Rob and I used to be at. You can go the other side of the street to that other radio station Rob and I used to be at, and you're hearing them send the same crap every single day. Exactly. Cashing in on kids, high school kids' deaths and stuff like that. It's absolutely absurd. And then the other one across the street, oh, Biden said this today. Biden said something stupid. Okay, fine. Biden said something stupid. Can we just think of something new? And Sunny Hostin, same crap. It's like, oh, well, of course she's popular because she's a white girl. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna put it back in the deck, Sonny. I'm gonna pull his race card out. We're gonna see if they get us some ratings, get people talking about it. Nobody. The only way that we see any of your show is if we found a clip on Twitter or something like that we get to make fun of you. That's about it.
Well, and it's worth pointing out because she represents, Sunny Hostin and The View represent what has happened to the media. Now, I grew up and went to journalism school, and the idea that they teach us in journalism school, at least they did at the time, is that this is a public service. We're supposed to watchdog the government. We're the fourth estate. We're supposed to ask hard questions, uncover things like the Pentagon Papers, like Deep Throat and Richard Nixon. That's what we're supposed to do. Although alternative take on that now that I'm learning is very interesting. That I think we talked about this, Mike, that the Deep Throat Richard Nixon, it was the number 2 guy in the FBI who was Deep Throat, who talked to Bob Woodward, who was a brand new journalist, but Woodward was also a former naval intelligence officer. So it's just very interesting when you learn those things. And see, this is I think you brought this up. You did, Mike, a couple minutes ago about how the information flows and how it works in our brain, and how Sunny Hostin in the media like the attention you give them, but that attention takes away from what's really happening, the complexities of life, the complexities of power, the complexities of money, the complexities of race, even as Trump was in the South Bronx yesterday, and that apparently threw the liberals for a loop.
Oh, they lost their minds. And he was dancing. He was in the Bronx doing a white guy dance. He had a little white man over by. He's like,
yep. I love the South Bronx, a magical place, man. That's where hip hop was founded, right there.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, he had 2. Didn't he bring up 2 hip hop artists with him?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I'm like following this P. Diddy thing. I literally have no idea who these people are. This person went on CNN. I'm like, who's this little booty? I don't know who little booty booby is. Everybody's got a stupid name that means absolutely nothing, and I never heard of any of them. Are you keeping up with that lately? No. I mean, I know you're an OG guy, but I mean, bro.
I just saw
who these people are.
And P. Diddy pulling her by the hair and kicking her, and I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
But he came out and apologized, P. Diddy, so everything's fine. He's a different person now than he was a few years ago.
He's got TD Jakes on his side now.
Oh, okay.
He's got TD Jakes going to help him out, going to get him on the right path. But trust me, Diddy's got something on TD then. TD go to state. He's a smart man. TD Jakes is a wealthy man. TD Jakes does not have to get involved in this. Nope. Doesn't have to sit up and be like, oh, look at me, I saved Diddy. Nope. He's like, Diddy, I'm going to help you, and you're going to shut up. You know what I'm saying? You're going to shut up.
Party?
What's that?
Those? Because I think there was rumors that TD Jakes was at some of the P. Diddy.
Yeah, parties. I wouldn't doubt that one bit.
Mm-hmm.
Look, y'all need to understand from a Christian standpoint, pastors are they're not Jesus. They're not saints. I'm so proud of my son. My son volunteers on Sunday at church. He does a great job. He works in the youth ministry, just really, really good. And this is his first week on the job, by the way. He got a job. What up, Texas Roadhouse? Yeah, my man.
Huge.
Yeah, it's a big proud of him. Anyway, but he volunteers.
When we go, we're gonna get like a bit. We gotta go. Like you gotta, get your people. I'm gonna get my people. We just need to go there, and we just need to like.
Party of 15, please. And the tall, lanky one over there in his section, the guy with the curly hair, looks like an emu.
100%.
Yeah, we're gonna go over to his spot right there. Oh my God, we terrorized the poor kid. He quit.
That's right.
But he comes back from volunteering. He talks about like, oh, the pastor talked. I talked to the pastor, and I'm like, okay. Yeah, like it's like some deity talked to him. It's like Christ came down and talked to him. So when I see this TD Jakes thing, I'm just like, I put TD Jakes up there with Benny Hinn, the dude that knocks people out. He touches them and they pass out. I'm like, knock them out, Benny. I did an event when I was at a previous life. I was with a company that did work with the pond of Anaheim, the Arrowhead Pond. I don't know what they call it now. It's Honda Center. Is what they call it now, where the Ducks play. Oh, and so not TD Jakes, it was Benny Hinn was doing like 2 nights there, something like that. And the general manager was all freaked out. He didn't know what to do. He was like, I'm stuck. I'm like, what are you stuck on? He goes, well, my loading docks are too high for the Wells Fargo trucks that back up for his service. I said, how many Wells Fargo trucks? He goes, 4 a service. Yeah. So I'm with you on that. Yeah, Lynn, I'm telling you, I'm with you on all that. But I understand it. These just because they're good entertainers and they can preach the word and they've memorized it and they give a good message and they do good, and I applaud them for doing that. Man, there's a lot of them that just on the damn take. And when I saw TD Jakes with his P. Diddy business, I was like, oh boy, man, that's terrible.
Well, and I think it all ties together, Mike, because it's just a branding approach. There are, throughout modern history, there are people who know how to get attention on television, on the internet, on whatever. And that attention brings them money. And then they just keep believing that. And then they just keep collecting money. And then it turns out that, oh, that person's full of crap. None of actually what they said was true. It was all designed to bring the money in. Because this is my big awakening that I had as a human over the last 4 or 5 years, is this idea that language is contagious. And what I listen to and what I pay attention to, it impacts how I think. It impacts what I believe. And if I'm not in charge of that, if I'm not minding my mind, in other words, I could get taken by a Jim Baker or TD Jakes. I could be donating money to someone that is faking the funk. Because, I mean, how many times have you looked at someone that you looked up to, a celebrity or maybe the pastor at your church, and you were like, wow, that person's really got it together. P. Diddy. Wow, he started his own record company, and he found Biggie, and they made this whole big, huge thing, and that's a great American success story. Meanwhile, he's an asshole.
Yep.
And beats women. And you're like, wow, okay. But how many times has that happened to a famous person that you thought one way about, and you realized, oh, that was all just a facade? Because when you are someone famous or a politician, a TD Jakes, you get to control the narrative for a very long time. You get to put positive stories out about you. You have the best public relations people. You've got the best agents that put you in the best places. And all of that is part of this ecosystem. It's like the Harvey Weinstein ecosystem that protects itself.
Yeah.
And the politicians interact with that because they want all that money so that they can win re-election. So it's this whole big bubble at the top that is mostly fake, because Mike just pointed out, people are people. We're all flawed. We all do dumb things. And I think that there's a line in which we accept dumb things. And then there's a line where you're like the P. Diddy line. You're like, ooh, now we saw the video of him assaulting Cassie, the singer. And we see the allegations about the parties and the underage women. It's not too hard to put the 2 and 2 together. And it's not too hard to find how P. Diddy hid behind his own narrative that he created. And because the media wanted access to P. Diddy, they helped him foster that narrative.
Yeah, and you're not going to get any smoking gun, by the way. You're not going to get any nobody's going to get brought to justice in this whole thing. I'm actually coming around to what Rob is on this one, because it is that Epstein group that basically protects themselves, or Epstein style group. And Epstein did not kill himself. The Epstein style group that will protect each and every one of their own. And they basically, it's like, oh, okay, you want to rat me out? I'm gonna rat you out. So, okay, we're just going to both shut up. and we're just going to both move on. We're going to predict. We'll rally around. Who do we know that we get this part of this that we can have rally around Diddy so he can save face? Oprah's gone, right? Oprah doesn't have a show anymore, so you can't go on Oprah and apologize. So you got to have TD Jakes, mega church dude. Get Benny Hinn around him. Do whatever he can. That's caught up in this. And the reason why I think no more so today when I was getting ready for the show was watching a little bit of a House hearing with Secretary of State Andy Blinken. I can only watch a couple of minutes because the guy,
it's like a hostage video every time.
Yeah, but it's funny because these people are always like reclaiming my time. I only have 5 minutes. Mr. Secretary, I only have 5 minutes. I'm trying to answer your question. You're only going to get 2 in like 5 minutes, because the guy just spit out his name. It just takes a hot minute. But I apologize for getting the country. It just kind of took me by surprise. I didn't know what was going on. So the Biden administration is trying to oust an attorney general in I forget where it was, South America, trying to oust an attorney general, and they're doing so by threatening basically the leadership, the administration, and saying, "Oh, you have a kid here on a education visa, huh? That's going to expire here pretty quickly. You have this person here, this person," basically shaking them down, Biden style, right? And completely shaking them down. But they say, "Oh no, that was because they denied the results of the election, and they tried to. They if we don't support democracy around the world, we can't support democracy here." That was their case. He goes, does it have anything to do, sir, with Mr. Secretary, about the investigation the Attorney General is looking into the Biden administration and participating in child trafficking at the southern border of the United States? That is absurd. No, it's not absurd. It's exactly what that AG is looking at. And so they're like, okay, we want this gone. There's going to be no justice for any of the Epstein people, no justice for any of the Diddy people, the 80,000, 100,000 plus kids that have been sold into child trafficking here in the United States because of the open border. There's going to be absolutely zero justice for them. Zero. Just don't expect it. That's not me letting go of the handles. That's me being an adult. That's me talking like a grown-up and saying those that be can keep this really quiet.
Let's go back to the Sonny Hostin part for just a moment. So if you caught that, you're just joining us now here on the Brewmance. Sonny Hostin is one of the people on The View, that daytime talk show where they solve all the world's problems.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But Sonny Hostin repeats the same mantra over and over again. That's the same idea, right? It's all about going back to what Hitler said. You say a lie long enough, people will believe it. Because you hear it, again, that language is contagious. So for Sonny Hostin, for Anthony Blinken, for everybody else, they're fine repeating the lie because they know it works. It's up to you as an individual to understand that and not listen to it or find some other form of entertainment, like hanging out with Russell and Hunter. Like this is it. And I want to refer to using the levels of power that Biden is too, because I was doing some research on FDR for some reason. When he was president, he faced in the early 30s. So it's the Great Depression, and FDR's got all these policies, and they weren't working fast. Number one, because they're government policies, and they made the government bigger and prolonged the Depression. But in the 30s, nobody knew that. So there was a couple of people. Huey P. Long was one of them. He was a governor of Louisiana.
That was my fourth guess.
Exactly.
Huey P. Long.
But he was a big populist. So he started rabble-rousing, started talking trash. And there was another pastor down south that was talking trash about FDR. So what FDR did is he stayed silent, but he used the levels of power. So he took out all the federal appointees that were loyal to Huey P. Long. And he surrounded Huey P. Long with FDR appointees.
Yeah.
So he basically neutered Huey Long and the pastor that was criticizing him on the radio. That's how you use levels of power. So to Mike's point, that's what happens in Washington. Sometimes it's the silent. We know what we can do. We can revoke the student's visa if you don't play ball. Because the injustice, to go back to Sonny Hostin, that she seems to claim, the injustice happens because the people in power want to stay in power and don't want to investigate themselves for the injustices that they get away with. Because even if you look at the slavery structure in America and the race structure in America, there was always people in power that benefited from it. That's why it never changes, because the people in power want to keep the power and keep the money. It's that simple.
So when they get caught, like Diddy, like Epstein, when it's all exposed, it's straight. Okay, so it's Lee Harvey Oswald. That's all it is. I'm just a patsy. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Diddy's feeling the same way. Epstein's feeling the same way. It's like, look, okay, I get it. I was the ringleader here. I totally get that. I was pulling some strings, but you know what? I didn't make them do that with a 14-year-old girl. I didn't make them fly to my island. I didn't make them come to the Diddy parties. I didn't.
I just provided it.
Yeah, basically, yeah. I did it because I wanted to get a little something on them. So here's all the something on them. Go arrest them. Nah. It just doesn't. It's too. It's the same thing in DC. Like I think Rob, last week I think you played, or is it early this week, which you played the little cat fight in the house
last Friday, week ago.
Yeah, did you see Plaskett in Goldman sitting there smirking to each other, just smiling? It's all a show. It's a show. They know exactly the role they're playing. There's not a lot of fighting. I remember a story that David Schweiker told us about Mad Maxine Waters. Mad Maxine is one of the, and I'm sorry. I don't even know how you can act that stupid and not be stupid. And stupid should hurt, and she should be in a ton of pain. So he sat next to her on one of the committees, and he said she turned the microphone on. She was Mad Maxine. She was a raving lunatic, and then turn it off, and he'd have his mic turn off. She'd turn to him, remember the name and age of the kids, want to know about the babies, how are they, his wife's name, sitting there chatting it up. How you doing? How you been? It's just silly. And to think that we're going to get any kind of justice for Diddy, or I mean justice with the victims of these people and Epstein, and if you think we're going to find the 100,000 kids that were sold into slavery? Nope, sure not.
I had a conversation with a friend, Gina, who a frequent Russell and Hunter.
Yeah, what's up, Gina?
And we were talking about the system and how horrible it is. And what I said to her was, I'm at the point now where I got to do me. I can't worry about all these other things, because all I'm in charge of is me and my life and the quality of my life. So I'm just done being played. I'm done thinking the system actually wants to fix problems, because Mike pointed this out several years ago, and he's been right about it for the 17 years that I've known him, that there's no win and a solution in Washington, D.C. It's not about solving problems. It's about staying in power. So you stay in power by getting on television, by creating drama, by being a part of the show. Because this is the realization that I had about Trump. Trump treats everything like a show so that he gets maximum attention. And he did it so well, he became president. And at this point, I think he's going to become president again.
Yeah, he is.
Because look at what he does in the courtroom. He comes out. He goes on attack. Trump has always done this. Mm-hmm. The judge is corrupt. The Democrats are corrupt. He's so good at framing a narrative for the show, and it works to his benefit. Now, I bring Trump up just because he does it just about better than anybody else. He's the biggest brand in the history of the world.
True.
And the Democrats are now trying to aspire to be that because they saw how he did it. So now they're all in, and several Republicans are all in. So it's a show. It's not real. It's not solving problems. It's not going to reduce America's debt. It's not going to shut the southern border. So my point is, pay attention. It's your country. We all care. But where you put your effort and your energy should be on you, should be on remembering that 60% at least of the country is not happy with the state of it. We've got the numbers. We just don't have the narratives, and we don't have the media channels to be able to discuss these things, which is why Mike and I are here creating this media channel.
That's why you watch out for RFK Jr. I'm telling you, watch out for the dude. I think his VP pick was a miss, but it's
paying him though. She's funding the campaign.
Yeah, well, it's fine. Yeah, it's good.
She just put like a couple weeks
Back
ago
to it.
of her own money into the campaign.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Like you do.
Although she did say the shot should be banned, the COVID shot.
Oh yeah, no, they walk lockstep on that. They really do. So yeah, even by the way, the World Health Organization, and I think NIH, I think NIH as well. They've revamped their vaccine guidelines, and I'm talking about for babies. Basically, it's like okay, parents. All right, we told we're gonna jab it like in the first hour. We're gonna jab it like 19 times with a bunch of different stuff. How about you just use common sense and be patient with it? Basically, just take your time. It's like, oh, that's something that just kind of slid under the radar there. They're like, yeah, I forget the exact term they used, but it was just you know what? As a parent, go with your gut. Definitely get them vaccinated, but just go with your gut on the timing. Because that's what we did with my kids. I was like, that can't be good for a child, ramming them with all that stuff in one sitting. So we spread it out over months. And I think it did good. I mean, poor intern Baines is only 5 foot nothing. Maybe I did it wrong. I don't know. Maybe it's stunted her growth. John's 6 feet tall. I was like, but
you got good kids. So
that definitely worked out. It's actually just bothering me. And I know we got to wrap it up here in a bit, but it was bothering me is I'm no longer going to you. Rob knows how much I love shrimp, knows how much I love seafood, and knows how if I go to all you can eat anything, I can eat all I can eat. Trust me, I will put that to the test. All you can eat shrimp going bye. No more Red Lobster. No more Red Lobster. What's that about? So the story is Red Lobster shuttering its doors. I love saying that. And it's closing up shop. And the idea was, and I blown away that the media thinks that we're that stupid, or the media literally is that stupid to think that we're going to buy into a staple casual dining establishment in the United States of America is going under because they spent too much money on shrimp.
Which is all you can eat shrimp. Once or twice a year they did it. It wasn't constantly.
And it was, could you imagine? I mean,
lines up the building.
I would be there. I'd be there all year round.
Oh yeah,
I eat some shrimp, man. I'm done.
Like an AC company. An AC company will give you a cheap tune-up as a loss leader in hopes that when it's time for a repair, you call them. Or if they do plumbing, you're like, well, all right, I would like you guys. That was Red Lobster's loss leader. They want people to come in the doors. They do it a couple times a year. People come in and they're like, oh, maybe they'll come back to Red Lobster.
It's like Costco, $1.50 hot dog, $1.50 pizza, and $4 chickens, giant roasted chickens, and gas that's about 50% cheap, 50 cents cheaper than anywhere else.
Oh, but I don't like those lines, those Costco lines.
Oh, dude, the Costco's the three now. There's 3 within like 8-9 miles of me right now, and they all have the brand new system where it's like this pump is open, this pump is it's just magical. I never wait in line.
Oh,
just
really?
Zip right in. Oh yeah.
One up by me, up on Beardsley and Union Hills area.
Yeah.
Whatever road that is. I'm like, I don't even care. It's the time saving, the time lost. So I'll just pay regular price. But anyways, I distracted you from Red Lobster. So what really happened with Red Lobster?
Yeah, so Red Lobster, obviously, and like I told Rob before the show started, that there was basically the dumbest assistant manager you could possibly think of would say, hey, wait a second. Because we're having the all-you-can-eat specials, why we're all going out of business, why don't we just stop doing the all-you-can-eat special and just have a restaurant?
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously it was not that. It was not in any way, shape, fashion, form. They were bought out I would say, I think it was 4 or 5 years ago by a private equity firm. They weren't bought for the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
They were bought for the land.
Yeah.
They were bought for the buildings themselves that Red Lobster owned, wasn't renting those. So then the company went and bought all of the land that they were on and started inflating the rent, essentially, basically running them out of their restaurants with having artificially inflated rent prices that they were going to have to pay for having a restaurant. And it got to the point where they said, okay, we got to do it. We got adios. We're done.
But see, it's a perfect example of really what the theme of today's Brewmance has been, Mike. The narrative that you hear is very rarely the truth. It is created by some savvy wordsmith somewhere to say, in Red Lobster's case, I'll just blame it on the shrimp, the all-you-can-eat shrimp. Even though they've been doing that for like 20 years, however long they've been doing it, and it managed to survive that long, then all of a sudden, well, they're out. But Mike just gave you the real narrative, but you would have to do digging on your own to find that out. So that's the lesson, I think, is that when you hear a narrative, understand it's a narrative. TD Jakes, P. Diddy, Jim Baker, whatever. Pick a narrative. It's always designed. It's like when you watch American Idol. If you do, you hear the heartbreaking story of the contestant, because we've all had those, right? We've all had tragedies to go through that we can play dramatic music around, and then it sucks you in because you get all emotionally tied to it. It's being done on purpose to fool you and manipulate you.
All right. Rob sent me a very sexy text last night, and it was, I was like, ooh, Rob knows how to talk dirty. He was like, let's talk about indoor versus outdoor shooting ranges. And I didn't get back to him because apparently the switch is flipped in my head to not return text on time. I'm sorry, pal. But why in the hell do you want to talk about it? It's sexy. I'll talk about that all day. I will.
Because I went to an indoor range.
Okay.
The other day. And normally I go to outdoor range. Normally I go to the desert or up to Ben Avery in North Phoenix, which is an outdoor range. And I like the outdoor ranges a whole lot better. And I understand that here in the valley, it's 1,000 degrees out and it's not exactly ideal to go shoot your rifle outside. But shooting your rifle inside is loud. It's restrictive. You feel very stuck in your lane. It's still fun. It's still enjoyable. But I prefer the outdoors.
I've been to a public indoor range one time.
Really?
I hated it.
Huh.
I hated it. And you know me. Any chance I get to go bang bang, I'm happy as they get. I'm the happiest kid you know. Dude, claustrophobic. I don't know these people. I'm stuck in a room with a lot of people with firearms. I don't know who you are. I don't know how you. I'm watching you fumble all over your firearm next to me, and I don't feel safe. And, my head after a couple of surgeries, I'm like, I don't want that just bump. I don't care what kind of ear protection I have. Just the concussions aren't the concussion from the firing all around you is enough maddening. I went to Scottsdale Gun Club. My buddy Tim Forshee took me into the Titanium room, their private indoor range, right? And so that was nice. Until the guy showed up, he had to use a member there in the Titanium room. He was a member there. He was on the far other side of the private range and pulls out this Desert Eagle hand cannon.
Dirty
and just pop. I'm like, I don't even like being in here right now. I'm an outdoor range or desert guy, period. I do not do indoor ranges. I don't like it.
Well, and I thought about it just from a practical standpoint, because it is so unrealistic. It's great. You should practice however you want. And, one of the two guys, my friend Pat and his brother Jim, they try to go out once a month. And the guy that was there, he's kind of the range guy. He was in the Army, and he says, yeah, you got to do it like once a month or it diminishes at the minimum once a month. So I get that, we were going to go to the desert initially, but they closed the portion of the desert that we go to. So we went to the indoor range. Good. But as much as I liked it, just the act of practicing, I found it to be very unreal. It would look nothing like an indoor range.
Right. Yeah. My first thought right there was when you said that, they closed the desert. How do you close the desert? How do you close the desert? It's like Axel Foley in Beverly Hills Cop. You stole this house. How do you steal a house? You didn't steal a house. How do you steal? It's my uncle's house.
I'm squatting. Not stealing.
Go steal it. Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, you closed the desert, or I went to Spaceballs with Comb the Desert. I don't know. I was with you.
Who the governor is now?
What's that?
Katie Hobbs, right? So it was the BLM or whoever it was. I don't know. Is it BLM federal or whatever?
BLM, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I don't
know. Bureau
of
Land
BLM.
Management.
So it could have been the Biden, ATF, DEA, Desert Fire, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, you can't go recreate with your firearms in the desert now.
I don't think people should have fun in the desert.
Exactly.
With their guns.
Man.
Guns are scary.
You have such a great governor in the state of Arizona.
Well, it's what we get. Sorry.
You did it. We picked it.
Sorry, y'all. Mm-hmm. Yeah. As much as I want to. I have no shooting. I have no shooting in this in this weekend planned. Rob, do you have a shooting in this weekend planned?
No, not this weekend.
Yeah, no, I'm actually getting fishing equipment ready for my Mexico trip.
Oh, you're going to Mexico?
I'm going to Mexico, buddy. That's right. Yeah. Puerto Penasco.
Nice.
Yeah, the cool kids call it Rocky Point.
I mean, yeah.
I was going to that.
Puerto Penasco is hard to say. I mean,
yeah, I know. It's all Spanishy. It's some foreign language. Rocky and Point. We got that one, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I've been to a lot of the touristy spots in Mexico. I've been to Cabo. I've been to Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah.
I've been to Cancun. I've never been to Rocky Point. I'm afraid to drive in Mexico, so you have to let us know how that goes.
No, I definitely will because, and here's the deal. Rob and I taking Memorial Day off. We'll get that in a second here. But the fun thing to me is that is I'm there with people that I speak a good amount of Spanish. They speak fluent Spanish. So at least the language barrier isn't going to be as bad as it is. And basically those that would stop you near the border speak pretty damn good English, better than I speak Spanish.
Sure.
So there's that. So we've been through all the scenarios. There's a lot of boards and stuff, like Facebook boards and stuff like that, of people that communicate very like in real time. Okay, I was just down at this checkpoint. This is what's going on. This is that. This. Oh, cool. Stay to the speed limit. Don't break the laws, and you should be just fine. I hope.
Good idea in a foreign country. Don't annoy foreign officials because they typically have more power than American officials.
Yeah, but don't get in between me and my first taco. Just do not. Just if you know what's good for you. Policia, Federales, exactly. Just let me get a taco and you can pull me over. Or just go code, just light the lights up, get me to the taco stand, you can arrest me. I don't care. Just let me go there first.
This is why I have maybe some bad memories. You're talking about that. So the first time I went to Mexico was in 2007, and we went to Nogales and we went to El Sasabe.
Yeah.
In El Sasabe, we had a run-in with the Mexican military, with the Federales, and with a guy that followed us till we made it to the border checkpoint. So my little driving experience in Mexico, granted, I was looking into illegal immigration, and it's very well Mexico. So hopefully you have better luck than that, Mike, is all I'm saying.
I just spent such time down there at the orphanages and stuff with my grandfather as a kid, and then in college in Tijuana, because Southern California, so we went down to TJ all the time. So I was just some drunk white college kid, and they didn't care. They didn't bother me.
That's what they want, TJ.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, Chris, it's a good point, man. Look, it isn't Happy Memorial Day. It isn't. Let's post pictures of our drinks and crap like that on Memorial Day. That's Veterans Day. We celebrate veterans. We party with the veterans. We light it up. We do all of that. This is a day to remember those that have served and lost their lives. And I think one of the most important thing to remember on Memorial Day are the families of those that have lost those lives, those family members, and they know the reason for Memorial Day. So if you are having any kind of gathering and you do know any of them, my hope for those families would be that you invite them over and just show them some love and show them some attention. And if you're gonna have fun this weekend, 3-day weekend, it's in America. We have fun doing darn near everything. Mm-hmm. So have fun, but do your best to make sure that you remember the reason and to maybe invite somebody over that's missing a loved one.
Well, and I love that, Mike, because Memorial Day it's motivational for me in so many ways, because I think about all of the veterans that not only served, but who need to be memorialized, right? Were killed in action, killed in training accidents. They're the ones that really put America in that right place, that it is worth defending. And it's worth defending not just militarily. It's worth defending against the narratives we're being told. It's worth defending against the real challenges that we face: debt, spending, healthcare, a bad economy, inflation. Those are real issues that impact all of us. And I'll be damned if that many people gave their lives for us to just give up and to believe what politicians say or what media professionals say, because there's so much more to life. There's so much more to what we do and what we have to give as Americans, that this weekend, while you're hanging out, having a good time, remember that sacrifice and how you can pay it forward in a different way, so that Mike's kids and Mike's kids' kids, if Mike's lucky enough to be a granddad someday, have a prosperous America, the same America that all those people who went and fought and sacrificed themselves for this country, that's the reason.
Yeah, like Wyatt Martin. Shout out, great job, Grizz. Yeah, for sure. This is his profile pic. Killed in action in December of 2014. Man, that's the reason. So, and remember, by the way, remember how we as conservatives we flew off the handle when Kamala Harris decided to wish everybody a happy Memorial Day out there on Twitter. And just stay off social media unless you want to do something pretty cool. You know, if you want to change your profile pic to some loved one, someone you knew that gave it all, or some family, just celebrate them. Celebrate those that did. So we appreciate you. We celebrate you, by the way. Rob and I celebrate you guys. We love having you here. We really enjoy these times. Something new is coming up, and it's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to get a lot more of Rob and I. So sorry. Well, with the way we travel, Rob or I, and we'll say Rob and I. And the thing that's exciting is that we're going to talk about stuff that we want to talk about, not stuff that our radio station tells us we have to talk about, or that the legacy media tells us that we need to talk about. We're going to talk about stuff that we care about, stuff we know you care about, and we're going to have some great conversations. So look forward to that, and have a wonderful and safe. How about that? We'll say safe 3-day weekend and Memorial Day, and think about those that served and lost. Rob, appreciate you, brother. Always have a good weekend, man. You guys have a great weekend out there, and we'll catch you on the new show.